Hi, at March Money. I am live today with Michelle Brubaker. Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
Sorry, I paused. I couldn't decide whether to say good morning or good afternoon. That's the problem with going live right at noon.
It's morning for me on the West Coast.
Yes, and it's afternoon for people in Europe. It's almost evening. And then here it's right at noon. So whatever time of day it is, welcome. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
And thank you, Michelle. Some of you guys may recognize Michelle. Michelle and Fernando were on the show. When was that? A few months ago.
Yeah, February, yeah.
February, okay. It feels like years ago because so much has happened since then with this whole pandemic that it's oh, it's only been 2 months, but anyway. So they were on talking about a course they had called Book Bling, but I wanted to have Michelle back on so we could really get to know her better. And she just has such a wealth of knowledge around KDP that I wanted to dig in a little deeper and learn how you got started and just the whole thing, learn more about you and introduce you to the audience.
Well, great. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me here, Helen. I appreciate it. And your audience, you just provide such value for them. So I don't know. I just like kudos to you for all you do to support the community of people, all the entrepreneurial community, having good, relevant people like you and that are legitimate.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's so nice to see that out there. So thank you for being a support to the community. But I'm Michelle Brubaker, and I live in Oregon, which is on the far west coast of the United States. And, like you said, there's people all over the world, people everywhere that are my students. But I make a good amount of money on KDP, a lot. And I love it. Oh, my goodness. I did this a few years ago when the big, huge coloring book craze came out. Mm-hmm. And I published a couple coloring books because I'm one of those people that says, hey, that looks easy. I could do that. I can do that. And I do that a lot. I have to stop myself sometimes. I could do that. So I made a couple coloring books, and those coloring books, they would sell. I mean, it was a big peak of this several years back when it was a big, huge thing. And now, of course, it's even bigger. But I made, I don't know, $30 a month or something on those. And I didn't pay it much attention, but for all year long, every month after month after month, $30, that's really nothing to sneeze at. It's a tank of gas or more right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
How can you complain about that?
Yeah.
Well, I was working a project a couple of years ago. I'm a trainer for the local community colleges, which I've since, it was only part-time, so I've since resigned from all of them. And they had this huge project for me to do at Christmas time. And I was like, so excited. I was gonna have all this money. And then they canceled it at the last minute. And I had total snow blindness on the calendar, no work at all. And so I was like planning for the best Christmas of my life. And then I had nothing. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make this count for something. I'm going to sit my butt in the seat and glue my eyeballs to the screen. And this time is going to count for something, which is actually probably a super good message if you're listening right now to make this time count for something. Just saying, okay?
Very good point.
This is me telling you eyeball to eyeball, you should make this time count for something. Whatever it is, not me. Just do something. So I did. And I thought, okay, those books were making me money. I'm going to just make some more. And so I started making journals and planners and notebooks and activity books and, and coloring books. I just added more, and I just totally slung the mud against the wall that December. I'm just like,
yeah.
What sticks? I don't know. And so I did. And I had books sell that December because, of course, fourth quarter is just slamming awesome. We just make all a killing in December, And so I was all hyped up. So I'm going from $30 a month to $300 a month, just like that. And that's enough to make a car payment, from gas to car payment. I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. I think I'm going to do more of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just to 10x your income in 1 month, and then it's I could do that again. Yeah.
Dang, I'm going for this. And I have actually 10x it, and then some. And so I made a goal that I was going to publish 1,000 books, 1,000 journals, planners, notebooks, that kind of thing. And if this is brand new to anybody and you're thinking you made 1,000 books, oh my gosh, no. a book, a journal book is like blank inside, like this. There's nothing in it. Anybody can do this. Can you make lines, Helen?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Who can't make lines? So it was just lines and then just silly stuff on the cover or whatever, you know. So I sat down and I pushed out 1,000 of them. And then and then I was able to see what mud stuck against the wall.
Yeah. I love that. Like that's what I did too. I mean, there's a argument for both sides. Like some people like to do a little more research, do a little more planning. Both work. But as long as eventually you focus in and look at your results and go towards what's working.
Yes, and definitely niche is better. You know, the riches are in the niches, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, definitely in hindsight, you know, why did I do that? I just picked a number and that was not probably a good reason. But
I did the same thing.
Yeah. But I sell a lot of books. I mean, I sell tons of books every single day now in multiple genres. And I'm able to focus on, you know, I like this genre or this genre works good for me.
Right.
And then I started doing Amazon sponsored ads, which, you know, there's not a lot of support online for that. And I was very hesitant when I started doing it because I didn't know what I was doing. And, you know, the gurus out there, they're not, you know, they're really complicated. And so, you know, I bought the books from the gurus. You know, it's difficult. And I sat my butt down and figured it out. And when I started figuring that out, it also helped a good deal too with like when I launch new books that are brand new. One of my books I launched and 14 days later, it was on the bestseller list. Wow. And it's been there ever since for over a year. So being able to like find the right niche, promote it, you know, and all of that. And then all the other books sell too. So I've had 11 books on the bestseller list that I've seen. And of those, you know, every day, you know, they bounce on and off every hour. So some of them are there, you know, I mean, I think I saw 5 of them on there today. So it just depends. They pop on and off all of the time.
Yeah. That is so great.
It is. And when they sell goods, Amazon pushes them out to extended distribution areas, which is like Barnes & Noble. I've seen my books on barnesandnoble.com, target.com, walmart.com. Powell's. Wow. So I see them in all these places because when you're selling books, Amazon wants to sell more books for you too.
Yeah. Well, amazing. And we're so happy to have you here. So many questions, guys. Make sure you post any questions for Michelle because we gotta use this time wisely. Michelle is awesome at KDP. We gotta learn what we can from her. But let's say hi real quick to everybody. We got Patty, we got Teresa, Dina. She's saying just in time. Dina is in Belgium, so it's later for her.
Thank you for joining us.
Tammy, Bridget, she's saying yes, making this time count for something. And then Bridget also says, which platforms are your journals on?
KDP.
KDP. And then we got Loretta and Patty saying, are your bestsellers low content books?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. You can actually make a plain journal that could be on the bestseller list, but you have to really niche that. Okay. And maybe put a little more stuff inside because you can put more inside. Like here's an example, you know, there's more inside this one, you know, little shopping doodles in here and stuff that match the book. Of course, all the books I'm showing you here today aren't my #1 bestsellers.
But why can't you just give us all your bestsellers so we can copy them?
No, I would love that. And I have people ask me that because they're like, Michelle, I want to buy your books. And then on the other hand, I've, 3 times that I found anyway, people like totally ripped me off and stolen. So I wish the world wasn't that way. I do show more, for my students in class, but but thank you for being interested. The question was, what was that? Can you say it again?
Are your bestsellers low content books?
Oh, okay. More like in the activity books. So if you were to say, if there's something else in there, like here's a coloring book. So I don't know, do you call that low content? I mean, this has been on the bestseller list. It's not now because there's 60,000 mandala books out there.
It's really nice. Yeah, they really are. People are really
in a while. But low content, as in I didn't write any words in it. So maybe, activity books, picture books, puzzle books, word books. So those kinds of things.
Yes, there's no like official definition. It's just kind of a word that we've all come to know, like low content and no content. Normally, like the way I think about it is no content books are like sketchbooks and lined notebooks and things like that. And then low content is things like what you just showed, like the activity book and prompts in a journal and things like that.
Very good example. And then I also have some cookbooks and cookbooks. Oh, and some children's books also. But, a children's book could also be low content. So, like, for example, like this is a writing book. And that's kind of like low content because we've got the letter and a line. So it's pretty low also. So on the other hand, a children's book could also be that too.
Yeah. Yep. And I think like as we get practicing doing more and more of these low content books, I think a lot of people are just going to make the jump to doing a full content book because it's not that much more by the time you're doing all this stuff. It's like just publish a book.
And it's really not. So if you were to think about it this way, Helen, so like if you're like writing a kid's book, I mean, like even just an ABC book, like 26 letters, right? Can I think of like things that start with, every letter?
Right? Exactly.
That's fairly low content. I mean, did I write it? Yeah, because I came up with it. I live on a farm in the country, so this was a niche for me. So, I mean, maybe whatever your niche is. So, did I write it? But it's not, not a big, huge written book.
Right, exactly. Not a 300-page thing.
Yeah.
So, well, great. We got a lot of people asking questions, so I'm so glad you guys are all so engaged. We'll just answer maybe one more and then get into it and then circle back. So and Loretta's saying just what I need this morning. Awesome. Okay, so Bridget doesn't know what KDP is. So let's do a quick KDP is Kindle Direct Publishing. So it's an Amazon platform. Amazon has so many different businesses. It's crazy. I don't know what they're up to now, but it's a very high number. Kindle is one of them. So people read books on their Kindle. KDP is more the printed one. So instead of like reading it on your Kindle, you can like buy a book from Amazon, and that's what we make. So usually we tend to make just the notebooks or low content because this channel is mostly about print on demand. So it started with mostly talking about t-shirts and things like that, but it's pretty easy to cross over into KDP because you can take your designs or your graphics that you've made and make a book cover with those graphics. And then the interiors are fairly simple to make. So that's just sort of a brief overview, but tell us from your point of view, how did you get started with KDP?
Yeah, it was just the whole, hey, I think I could do that.
Were you, I forget what your background was. Were you selling on Seller Central or were you?
Yeah. So I was selling FBA or Fulfillment by Amazon and formerly a, web designer and then part-time teacher at college. And so, I did a lot of stuff with FBA. I mean, I bought out the store at the local shopping mall in Portland that was closing. I bought out, I bought 10,000 units of, 6 skids pallets full of Target shelf pulls. I mean, I had a lot of stuff. I had stuff everywhere.
Me too. I did the same thing. Maybe not to that level, but I was definitely buying a lot of stuff.
Yes. But it's super fun. Oh my gosh, the treasure hunt. I still love treasure hunting. It's so much fun. So much fun. But really, in that case, though, you have to like keep feeding the monster, I guess, if you want to call it that. You have to keep feeding it all of the time. And that is taking up valuable time. So of course, time invested in one area is time taken away from another. And I last summer I broke my wrist, like flipped over in two, like surgery plates and screws and everything. And it made me really think how grateful I am that I have the passive royalty income from KDP, because had I still been doing FBA, I couldn't lift boxes. I couldn't do that for months. And so in hindsight, I'm so glad that I started
Yeah.
doing something that's more passive. You know, I was sitting on the couch for 2 months and last summer, and I still, you know, thank goodness for those royalty payments that I would get every month. And I didn't publish anything. I didn't even look at KDP for days and weeks on end. And so, yeah, and KDP, most people think of Kindle Direct Publishing as like Kindle, like a Kindle device, you know, where you're reading an ebook. They do that in there too. But what Helen was saying is we are talking about the actual, you know, printed piece of paper book, you know, that's what we're talking about here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. People are tagging people to join the show and everything.
I love you all.
Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, so you got started into KDP, and that's one thing I love about this community. Once you're in an online community, you start learning about all the other things. So I was the same way, where I was doing Seller Central, and then I started learning about merch. So then I got excited about Merch by Amazon slowly. I mean, I kind of gradually, kind of like what you said, where it was like the $30 a month kind of thing. I put up a few t-shirts just sort of on the side. And then over time I was like, well, these are selling. Like maybe I should just keep adding more. Yeah. But then I was just like, you know what? I'm getting tired of just having my house always have stuff in it.
Yeah.
Like if I had a warehouse, it would have been different, I think. But it was kind of at that crossroads where you're like, okay, am I going to commit and get a warehouse and get employees and like really do this? Or am I going to do something else? Because this stuff in my house has got to end.
Exactly. And it's the hard part, Helen, is it's super fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. I don't know if I could pay retail for anything ever again after that.
Oh yeah. That's one side benefit of like doing all this. You learn how to work all the sales and get the cards and do all this stuff.
I know. I was buying and selling liquidation too. And it was like, oh my goodness, you could just like, kill it with that stuff. But you know what? As fun as that is, you know, I had to take a step back and think, what's more fun is to go do the things I like to do and enjoy, you know, travel, go to the beach. You know, my husband and I are into motorsports. And so we spend our summers at the racetrack. And so, you know, I would rather do that and then have my passive royalties coming in. So I want my fun to be somewhere outside of work.
Yes.
You know, although I have fun making my books and it's a great creative outlet for me.
Yes.
But to be able to go do the fun things and let this money pay for it. And last year we upgraded our RV to a big diesel pusher one to be able to pull our race car trailer with. And so so when we went to buy that, it was like the month before I broke my wrist. And I said when we went to get it, and it's not a brand new one, you know, but it's pretty huge with the slide outs and it's really cool and I love it.
Yeah.
But I told my husband, let's make that come out of my royalty account because we get direct deposit with KDP every month on the 29th. And so make that come out of that. And I've paid for that ever since. And that is a great feeling. And I pay for a lot more than that now, but that's a great feeling, you know, to like pick something and let your royalties pay for it. I mean, I'm going to be an old lady, 80 years old in my rocking chair and my royalties are still going to come in. And I wouldn't have got that with FBA.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. So you started doing that. Tell us about like how did you learn all this, and then how did you start teaching all of this? And tell a little bit about that story. Yeah. Yes,
I do it a little bit differently than everybody else, don't I? Yeah. Well, so last summer I thought, you know what, I'm going to like show other people how to do this because it's so cool. And I love sharing. I'm very open. You'll see that people that are in my courses and stuff are like, oh, like I opened the book and actually showed them something, you know, whereas people go to other classes and they're like, you're telling us concepts, you're not showing us real stuff. And I show them real stuff. Yeah. So I did the journal and planner notebook class, and that was a great class. I had a bunch of people join in that. And what I do that's different than a lot of places is I teach it all in PowerPoint. And you can use just a simple program like PowerPoint. So what happens is people get all excited about this and then they go buy all this stuff. You know, they're like, they're going to go buy all these graphics. They're going to go pay $40 a month for some software program. They're going to go pay for this and pay for that. And pretty soon they have all these expenses going out there without the input first. So what I want people to do is to make money first And then with that money, then invest in other things. You know, if you invest in you first and your skill level, which is not very hard. I mean, people are, every single session I do of class, which has been many of them now, I always get these people that are like, your PowerPoint hacks are unbelievable. I never knew you could do all this stuff in here, Michelle. This is unbelievable. So to be able to just take one program that most everybody already has, show you where to get all the stuff and put it in there and assemble it together without buying a bunch of other things. Yeah. That's the way that I teach it. You know, I want them to be successful first. I don't want them to go buy all these things.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I tell them, quit buying stuff. Just because that package of dinosaur coloring pages is so adorably cute and you absolutely love it. Did you go to Amazon first and see if dinosaur coloring books are even selling, or you could even make money first before you threw down the money for that? You know?
Yep.
See, that's what happens.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because it's so true. People definitely fall into that.
I told that to one of my coaching clients last week. I said, you need to stop buying stuff.
Yeah, you got to just sit down and just do. I think it's just a temptation, and you know, I've fallen into it too, where you just you feel like you're doing something to help your business, but really what helps your business is uploading things that people can buy. So if you spend a lot of your time doing things other than uploading, then you're probably just wasting time or money or both. You got to get something up there for people to buy. That's
you. Yeah. Thank you.
So whatever's the quickest, easiest way to do that, the most successful way. All right, let's say hi to everybody again. We got more people coming. We got Jas, I think. Mikalu saying hello, Michelle. Let's see, Michelle. When I searched your books on Amazon, it didn't show a lot of reviews or sales. Do you make your money mostly by selling your courses on how to write books for KDP? Sorry, I didn't even read it before I showed it.
Okay. So she probably just missed when we were talking about that at the beginning.
Yeah.
I sell a crap load of books every single day on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I make money every single month deposited in my bank account. That is more than enough to pay for my brand new, well, not brand new, new to me, big, huge, 30-foot diesel pusher and my 30-acre farm in rural Oregon. And it's more than enough to cover all of those that I make every single month. So that should take care of it. I use many pen names, and a lot of people use pen names. Is that okay to talk about that right now?
Yeah. Let's talk about pen names. I think that's great.
Okay. This is probably a good time for that. You can have as many as 5 author accounts. Author Central accounts. You only have one KDP account. Don't ever try and take another one, just like merch. Yeah. So one KDP account, but you can have 5 Author Central pages where people could see you as an author. So you could have 5 of those pen names. Now you could actually have as many pen names as you want, but you would only get 5 Author Central accounts. So I use many pen names out there, and a lot of people do that same thing. And it really helps it helps with the theft too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that people are like, oh, wow, Michelle has 11 bestsellers. I want to go see what they are and make some just like that. And, unfortunately that has happened, but so pen names are great. You can make them be just about anything you want. And so, come up with something.
I would definitely recommend using a pen name, guys, because you just never know. I mean, especially for like me or Michelle or somebody that has a YouTube channel or is out there, you have to use pen names, because otherwise people will just steal your stuff or whatever. But I mean, if you don't, you might be able to just use your own name, but I would just use a pen name.
Yeah. And students that are like in my advertising class, my on how to do sponsored ads. I mean, I show my dashboards in there so you can see. In fact, you were just talking about Fernando a minute ago. We were looking at that yesterday, and I saw, I don't know, I've had like 13 million impressions on my ads. Yeah. So it's there on the screen.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh yeah, this can happen. Writing books is easy. I'm struggling to sell them. Yeah. That's where it's research and all kinds. Well, you answer that. What are some of the things that people fall into that kind of makes it so their sales aren't as good as they could be?
An interesting one is I had a book that was amazing, doing awesome. And then I had one that was in the same genre that wasn't doing so well. And I'm like, why is that? they're both in the same genre. This one is just as good. Why is it not selling? And I happened to be at a networking event, and the lady next to me said that she did, I don't know, graphics and book covers or something. I do my own. But I pulled it up on my phone and I said, can you tell me from your point of view, be honest, tell me why is this not look good? What's wrong with it? And she did. She said, all right, that font is old. It's out of date. And it gives this impression, and the cover is this and the cover is that. And I'm like, whoa. I thought my cover was pretty, but you know what? It's not about what Michelle thinks. Not what I think at all. It's what the buyers think. You know what? I am not so tied to that. I'm not tied to that cover in such a way that I'm going to throw away $500 a month in royalties for that one book, which it about brings in. So what I did is I totally redid the cover. I went out and I looked at all the other ones that are in my genre in that same field. And I thought, what is it about all those top sellers? What's, and the text was big and bold, and the backgrounds were this particular style. And I'm like, all right, fine. I can do that.
I like the way you said it. All right, fine. Let me just get
the old one.
Yeah. But it's so like that. Yep.
So I had to just kind of get out of my own way on that and get over myself. Right? So get over yourself, look at your listing. How's that cover look? Does it look good? What's the description look like? Is the description compelling? Are you telling people, what's inside the book, what to expect, how they're going to feel about it, and click the buy button right now to order yours and get yours today, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point that you had two in the same niche and one was doing well and one wasn't. I think sometimes people give up too quickly on a niche or just in general with KDP. And I think if you can kind of split test like that, like have a couple different covers in a niche, because it might not be the niche, it might be the cover. Someone likes one cover better than another. So then you can get a better idea, like, am I in the right niche? Am I using the right keywords? Or is it the cover? You can kind of narrow it down, because if one of them is selling and you use similar keywords in a similar niche, then you can know, okay, it's the cover. People are not liking this particular cover. Let me try again.
And it's worth trying it again,
Yeah.
I mean, what if I didn't? What if I had been stuck to that? Oh my gosh, that's like my #2 best-selling book right now. And it's like, if I had said, no, I'm sticking my foot down and saying I want that old ugly cover. And I'm tied to that font. No. No. And I'm a sharp cookie. I can do an Amazon search and see what the other ones look like. Absolutely never copy them. People have done that to me, and don't do it.
No.
So, don't copy other people, but you can get the same idea, are the fonts big and fat, or are they skinny?
It's like the style.
Yeah.
The idea of the style and what people are drawn to.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're having trouble getting sales on it, run some sponsored ads on Amazon with it. I mean, sometimes it takes that to jumpstart something, and sometimes it doesn't. I've ran sponsored ads on things that still didn't take off, and now I'm only selling 2 a day of them. But you know what? Okay, so maybe that was my dud. Well, 2 a day is not a dud, but not at all by any means. But it never did take off like the other ones did. And I'm okay with that. I'm just going to move on and keep doing more things. Let it do its 2 a day forever and ever if it wants to, and then go on to my next thing. So run sponsored ads. Sponsored ads work great. And then if that still doesn't work, and move on and do the next best, make your next best masterpiece out there.
Nice. So you talked about AMS ads. What do you do any other kind of advertising?
I haven't done that yet.
See, there's always so much to do. You don't really need to. AMS is very good.
I just, and that's it. Helen, too, that, you can only, any of us that are trying to be helping the community.
Right.
That's taking us away from our business too.
Yes.
So it's like, I can either do more for the community or more over there. Thank goodness it's already just running. Set it, forget it, rinse and repeat whenever I feel like sitting down and rinsing and repeating. I just do that. but it does take away from that. I mean, I look at my Amazon ads nearly every day just to see how things are going.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just got to keep up on that stuff. And it's worth keeping up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't want to invest a few minutes a day for moolah.
Exactly. Do you have any kind of strategy with the AMS ads? Like, do you do them a lot in the beginning to get a book to rank and then stop, like once it's kind of selling on its own? Or do you kind of just keep the ads going indefinitely?
Both.
Okay. Yeah.
To always be testing. Always be testing that stuff, you know, and I go through that, you know, like first run those sponsored ads because for the keywords. That's one method of finding out keywords. And so that's always a good method there. I mean, there's lots of ways to find keywords and a gazillion tools to do it. I like the free ones the most, but so I teach that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how to do it. But you know, and then not all books warrant an ad, right? I mean, some of the really low content line stuff, some of them I'll put an ad on and test it out, but I'm not going to run 1,000 ads on things, you know?
Right.
People aren't searching for, you know, a plate of potatoes on their journal that often, but they sell sometimes.
Yep. You just never know. Let's see. Patty asked if you do advertising with ClickFunnels.
No.
And then Lisa says, have you done author visits at schools?
I have not done that at this point. No, I've made a community book from our local community area, but I haven't been out supporting that this time. Yeah, time, you know, and the community situation. Yeah. So no, not at this time. Great questions. I love them.
Yeah.
Others? I'm looking on there.
I know, right? So many people joining and everything. Thank you guys all for being here.
I love all these questions.
I know. Everybody's so awesome today.
I just want to encourage people too, Helen, that it's not a difficult thing. You know, if you invest in yourself, you know, you can learn it all online for free. It's out there, right? So I'm not telling you go buy this class or that class. Yeah, but if you want to go quicker, of course, that's always a way. You pay with your time or you pay with your money, right?
Yep.
But now is a good time to invest in yourself. You know, a lot of people have that time and to learn something. You know, we all didn't know how to do Facebook when it came out, and we had to learn where to click for that, and to learn a basic skill like publishing a book that will pay you forever and ever, or a lifetime. You know, that I understand you can even will it to your family. I'm checking on that, but I've heard that you can.
I've been wondering about that. I'm like, I feel like I should take care of all that kind of stuff. I haven't yet.
Well, I'd love, will it down to my grandchildren, and so I'd love to be able to do that. And so isn't that time worth it right now? You know, it really is to invest in yourself, that little bit of time to learn something new. And a lot of people think, oh, I don't know how to use Photoshop and I don't know how to use it. Well, you know what? I don't know how this is true, Helen. I don't know how to use Photoshop. I could do like 3 things in Photoshop. And I always told myself, man, if I could just learn Photoshop. And finally I stopped telling myself that. Why am I saying that to myself? I'm already being just fine, successful how I am. I'm not going to have time to learn it. Okay. I'm just going to, I made all these books in PowerPoint. All right. There we go. I made these books in PowerPoint. Okay. You don't have to.
That's the thing. You just decide what you want to learn. Like, of course you could learn Photoshop if you want to, but right now you're doing it a different way, and that's fine.
It's too complicated. I'm not going to learn no complicated stuff. But, I want to click and drag and insert and cut and paste. Okay.
Oh, thank you, RB. RB saying smash the like button.
Oh, thank you, RB.
I love that people do that because they know that I always forget to say that. So thank you guys all for helping me to remember to say that. Also share, let people know. It really helps. And subscribe. All of those things.
Most definitely. Just get out there and do it. Try it even on your own, just go and do it. And then I know that you probably have a lot of people in your audience who have dabbled or, they've been immersed. I keep meaning to do that. I was talking to someone yesterday. I keep meaning to do that. Well, you know what? Make that time, block it on your calendar. It's your time to invest in, your future and what you're doing next. And what else can you do that's going to pay you over and over and over like that? And imagine where, you know, where you be in the future, whether you're traveling or ill or taking care of a family member, and you need that time. Like even right now, you're not able to work. A lot of people, thank goodness my husband's able to work right now, but a lot of people aren't, and still be getting that money. And so that I just think it's a wonderful way to do it.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, go make lots of money and then do something good in the world with it, and you know, help and be philanthropic and all of that in the world. And I love doing that too. So yeah.
Yep. Well, awesome. I love this comment. Loretta's saying you are a hoot. Oops, hold on, not that one.
Oh, do you want to hear more hoots?
You are a hoot, Michelle. Love you. I love your personality. You're so just positive and
yes. Well, you know, it's hard not to be. You know, I'm filled with gratitude right now. I really totally am. And I've, you know, people that are in my courses all over the world, and that just brings so much joy to me to know. One of my students said the other day they had sold a book in Italy. It was, I don't know, it was a coloring book or something. Mm-hmm. And I stopped them. I said, wait a minute, hold on. Do you realize what the state of the world is in Italy right now? Yeah. Somebody's over there and they have your book in their hand. Oh my gosh, I'm going to tear up, you know? Yeah. What an impact that you can make even with just something as simple as a coloring book, you know? Yeah. I mean,
a lot of people are buying coloring books and activity books and things for seniors as well, like that are in nursing homes, because it's the same thing. They're like stuck there and they have nothing to do. And it's like something like bring a little bit of joy to someone because you can't go visit or anything. So yeah, it's tough right now, but it is amazing that just little simple things can bring joy to people.
It does, you know, and just work with what you know. Like I live on a farm and there's lots of things around here, right?
Yeah.
I wrote about, and you know, the animals and stuff. The hoot. I have lots of animals, and a lot of people are intrigued by my most unique animal that I have on my farm, Helen.
What is that? Is that an owl?
No, I don't like the owls. They actually try to kill my chickens, and so I don't like them. And they're just big and mean. So I have horses and chickens, and of course my dogs.
You have a llama, right?
Not anymore. He was picking on the horses, so he got adopted to a new home. And then my goats, they kept breaking out of the fence and going to the neighbors. And so I called her on the phone. I said, I think they've chosen, you know? And so would you like them? And so they've lived at her house ever since.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
My most unique animal is a potbelly pig. I have a pet pig, and he stays outside all the time. His name is Leonard.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, he comes running like a dog outside when you call him.
Well, speaking of like animals escaping, when I was a little kid, like we lived in a suburban, like suburbs, like not in the country. It was just regular houses with yards. But one day a Rottweiler and a potbelly pig escaped from a farm that was like not that far from my house, but pretty far. But anyway, they escaped together and they stayed together and they somehow made it into our yard. It was so
that's cute. How cute is that?
Yeah, I'm like, that's the only time I've ever had a potbelly pig randomly show up at my house.
Yeah, you can't make that up.
No. I think it made it into the newspaper because it was just such a random story. Like it was so far from a farm. I'm like, how did this happen? They went on an adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah, just so long as you're not like in the backyard, you know, on the Traeger cooking up baby back ribs and bacon, right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's a little about me.
So Loretta's asking about how do you change photos into line drawings?
Oh, that's a good question. Like, so if I have a photograph and I want to make it into like a coloring book page, I'm guessing that's
I think so.
What she means. There's some apps that will do that. So if you have like an iPhone or Android, you know, look for some apps for that. Some, you know, PowerPoint won't do that directly for you, It'll do a whole lot of other things. PowerPoint will do it actually do it for some illustrations, though. You can actually make line drawings for some illustrations right there directly in PowerPoint, which is cool, but only certain file types will do that.
Yeah.
Not a photograph, but some illustrations. You know, I have actually taken, had photographs and then sent them to Upwork, and then told the Upwork illustrator to make a coloring page out of this photograph, but make it not look exactly like the photograph.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea too.
Yeah, so I've done that. I've paid like $4 a page for that. Those books aren't my best-selling coloring books. I sell, I probably sell about 6 of those a week or something like that. So not a lot. It's made its money back, but I really just kind of prefer to create my own by using those, like I said, illustrations, and turning the illustrations right there in PowerPoint into line drawings, and then assembling them into like scenes and stuff. So I prefer to kind of do it that way, where I'm, like I said earlier, don't spend the money until you're making money.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Teresa, I'm glad the power came back on. She said the power just came back on. Happens
to me in the country all the time too.
Yes. Yeah, Christina, whenever she's on a show with me, she lives in pretty far out, and that happens to her too. Oh, people are giving help. They're saying Adobe Capture and GIMP.
Okay.
Could possibly work.
Yeah, I don't know how to use those. I just use the app on my phone for it.
Yeah.
What's it called? Let me get my phone and look at it. Where is my phone? Oh, it's in my butt pocket. Hold on. What is that app called? I don't know.
Oh, and Lorraine saying hi from Nebraska. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Nebraska. I bought a really cool hat, that one that says boss in big, huge letters on the front of it that I have at a truck stop in Nebraska.
Nice. I'm trying to remember if I've been to Nebraska. I think that's one of the states I haven't been to.
The bird refuge there, man, we were driving through it and I've never seen so many birds in my life, except for Oregon, of course. But man, they just have so many birds there.
I have been to Oregon, but that was a long time ago. I should come back.
I'm about an hour south of Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon is part of my family came from there. My great grandfather or something ran the lighthouse there in Portland.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I'm about an hour and a half from Mount Hood on the east, and then an hour and a half from the beach. So kind of between Mount Hood and the beach, one way or the other. Nice. So it's nice. We got all that here.
Let's see. Teresa, can you ask it again? I'm not sure what question I missed from you. Have you ever been to Belgium? The best beers. I have not.
Yeah, I don't travel much. Not that I could drive. Yeah. No, I throw up on airplanes, so I don't like to go anymore. And I'm 53 years old now, and I just don't want to throw up anymore. So
you look so young. Like, I feel like I'm older than you. I still can't believe that you're in your 50s.
So I decided I don't want to barf anymore on planes. So I just will drive everywhere now.
I am so curious what's going to happen with planes after this whole thing, because they kept getting smaller and smaller. Like the last couple of times I've been on a plane, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to have to start flying first class, because the coach is just you're so tight.
Yeah. And it's bad to go when there's people right close to you.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I like to travel. I don't do it a lot, but it's fun whenever I can.
My RV is for.
That's true. That's true. And in the U.S., there's so many beautiful places. Yeah. There's so many beautiful places all over the world. It's sometimes you don't have to go as far as you think you do. Wherever you live, there's probably a lot of pretty places very close to you.
Exactly.
Teresa's saying cookbook question.
Okay. Bring it on.
I'm trying to, she wants me to find her question, but sorry, okay. Teresa, it probably looks like it's easy to see, but on my end, it mixes YouTube and Facebook questions, and I really don't see your question.
Definitely make cookbooks. They need to be niche. They definitely do. But it's the crazy stuff that sells on there, and if you could find that crazy niche
Yeah.
and make the cookbook on it. And you don't have to cook all the recipes. You don't have to take pictures of the recipes. You don't have, let me just, can I get one off the shelf to show?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
You're going to see I'm wearing this pretty blouse, and then I'm wearing my holy jeans.
That is definitely an entrepreneur. That's,
Yeah.
I'm wearing leggings.
Okay. Yeah. And my slippers. So, and then let me see one of these. There we go. Okay. So like, here's a cookbook. Okay. So you can make a cookbook. This is size 6x9. We should talk sizes too. So 6x9, and this is a glossy cover. It's not very thick. See? So there's not a lot of pages in it. And then inside is just the recipes in here. Okay. And they are, you know, guess what? Recipes aren't copyrighted. Oh. Now KDP will slam you if you like go copy and paste. But you know, if you just change it up a little, it's okay, you know. And so yeah, I mean, I got a few pictures in there to fill in the space, but let's go this way. It's a mirror image. Sorry about that. There. That's not a big deal. Anybody could do that. Now here's the really funny part, because you said I'm a hoot. Okay. See, look at these books. This will make you laugh. So here's two cookbooks. And look at this right here. Right there. It's backwards for me. See that?
What, desserts?
And
oh, did it spell it wrong or something?
yeah, that's desert.
I was like, what are you trying to tell? No,
what I'm going to tell you is done is better than perfect. So if you're like sitting there tweaking on your book, like, oh, it's not done, I need to change this little thing and this little thing, this little thing. I sold 40 of these books before I even caught that. Before I even caught that there was a mistake. And you know how many people wrote a bad review? Zero.
Exactly.
Zero. Just get the dang book published, okay?
People always get on the case of, like, I can't remember who it was. I think probably all of them, but like Grant Cardone or something like that. Oh, there's a spelling mistake on page 70. He's like, do I care? He's like, just the point is what I'm saying, not like.
Yes. All right. She says, I'm working on a cookbook, want to know color versus black and how important is it to have photos? Great questions. Okay. A book that's in color is going to cost a whole lot more money for production cost. And the higher the production cost, the lower my royalties. Okay. And you know what? It doesn't have to have color in it. It doesn't need that. If they want color, they can go look on the internet and go look at all the recipes online, right? But if they want a book in their hand with step-by-step instructions, black and white, okay? Black and white. You don't need pictures in it. You don't need to take pictures of it. Guess what? I don't drink coffee. I wouldn't know if any of those are good or not, except for people on the internet said they were. So I don't need pictures. They don't need to be in color. I don't need any of that. This is still kind of in the low content world also, like you said. It's not no content, but it's low because I didn't write any of it. You know? Those are stock photos on here, by the way.
Yeah. Because
I know that inside is some lattes and some espressos, and there's some coffee beans. So that represents it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it. Get it done. Get your cookbook out there for sure.
And then another follow-up question is, do you have to change the order of ingredients?
Not just the order, but I would change the ingredients a little bit. You know, change it up a little bit. Sizes. So this is 6x9, okay, and then I have a 5x8 somewhere, and then and this is this is fun. 8.5.
She says you need a daily talk show, not just like a weekly one. Like you need a daily one.
in my spare time, right? Okay. I have a lot of stories, and I'm working on writing them down. And so this book here, this has chocolate covered strawberries on. I don't like chocolate, but I love strawberries, which is also totally irrelevant because I only want to publish things that sell, like coffee sells. So I don't care if I like it or not. And inside is lines, but this one's 8.5 by 11. Okay, so that's different than say 6 by 9. It costs the same amount of money and the same royalties for either one that you make. Okay. Now, interestingly, I got a bad review on this book, and it made me feel really sad. And so I went to look at it, and I thought, how could you not like this book? You know? And what they said, the review, I'm serious, go look up Chocolate Covered Strawberries on Amazon Journal Notebook, and you'll see this exact book with a bad review. And that person wrote a review that said, I thought I was going to get chocolate covered strawberries, and all I got was that book. Are you kidding me? Serious? Now, who looks like the smart person here? Okay.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess that's how good the photo is on your book. It looks real.
Yeah, exactly. And what were you doing that night? Let me get a different size. Right?
And what were you doing that night? Very good point. Speaking of not drinking coffee, that is definitely not me.
Yeah. So then there's also like 5 by 8 size. So there's 5 by 8, 6 by 9. There we go. 6 by 9. And then you could do 8 by 10 also. So 8 by 10 is a little more square. I'm
so glad you have the sizes. This is really helpful to see what it looks like.
You know, and that's the thing. It's funny. So many people, like I said, they want to like see stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, I just took a class and I never saw one book, Michelle." But you show us all your stuff, and I do. I open it up and show you. So this kind of how the sizes go. There's one more. Oh, well, you did see, I think, the children one. So this is like 8.5 by 8.5 children's size. Now they can be in this glossy, as you see that it's glossy cover, like this is shiny smooth. Mm-hmm. Or it could be in like the matte, which is like soft and stuff. So you could choose, and it doesn't cost any more to do either one. They're both, you know, this costs the same amount, same royalties for the small book as the big book, and same price, same royalties for all of it. You know, and how do I know which one to make? You do your research, right? You go to Amazon.
That's how you make everything interesting. Like,
well, you know what? It's because every flippin' week somebody asks me that. They're like, "Well, Michelle, what should I make?" Well, should I make it in a 6 by 9 or should I make it in 8.5 by 11? Do you think I should make something with dogs and dinosaurs? Michelle, do you think I should do this? Well, get your mouse and click on Amazon.com and search for that. Is it selling? Look at the rank. Okay. I always tell people to use DS Amazon Quick View.
Yes, that's a very good one if you guys don't have that.
Yeah, it saves time and it's
a free Chrome extension. DS Amazon Quick View.
Yes, I love that thing. I mean, you don't have to have it, but it's free, so why not, right? And I tell everybody
sizes, it makes it so you can see the rank, and rank is like a number. You want it to be lower. The lower, the better.
Yeah, so the #1 best-selling book on Amazon would be, you know, #1 rank, and the #2 book would be 2, and so on. So if you go to Amazon and you search and you're looking for a book or a theme of some sort, and you see there's a great rank on it, then you'll be like, awesome, I should make that. Okay, if I'm looking at mandala coloring books and I see there's 60,000 other ones, right? It's going to be a little hard to compete in that landscape. So how can I niche that more? What is it? Is it elephants with mandalas? Right. Is it farting elephants with mandalas? Right. How can I niche it down even more? Right. Well, right now,
elephants with mandalas. Love it.
Yeah. Right now, things with farts and boogers and snot sell. You know, people are selling that right now.
Oh my gosh.
It's true. Yeah. And people are at home right now, so a lot of things are selling. A lot of people are clicking around.
Yeah. Yep.
The opportunity is so ripe right now. Really, really is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I can't believe we just flew by that whole hour. I don't even know if we got into any of the stuff we wanted to talk about, but hopefully we covered at least some of it. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to talk about specifically, like on your website or anything that you offer or anything like that?
Oh, well, obviously, Helen, I just want to thank you for letting me be here. I like to be educational and, not be pitching myself
Yeah.
out there, because it's not about me. It's really about everyone else. And, I would tell you to invest in yourself, instead of going and buying a whole bunch of stuff. Pick one thing, like I'm going to make cookbooks, or I'm going to make children's books, or I want to make journals, and invest in yourself learning that. And I honor Helen for having me here today. So, if you find something you like on my website, click one of her links in there, because, I want to buy her a cup of coffee for having me here. So,
and guys, right now I just put her website. So if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, you'll just see her website. But if you're watching the replay, you'll probably see individual links to different classes that she has. And those would be affiliate. The way it is right now, it's not affiliate. It's just the website. But for people watching the replay, it'll be individual ones.
But if you message me that it came from here, I'm happy to, shoot a little goodies to Helen for being such a dear.
But I love how your personality, like everybody is so different and what they do and what they don't do. Like for me, I don't know if I really would ever really do courses. We'll see. I struggle with it. It's not something that I really like to do that much. Christina, who works with me, she's like loves to do that kind of thing. She was a HR director and was in charge of courses. I don't know. I feel like I like to learn and then move on to something else. So it's like frustrating for me to be teaching stuff that I already know how to do slowly, like step by step. Like I just want to be on to the next thing. So I don't really like it. But that's why I love just like finding other people, because why should I have to make a KDP course when you already have so many? Like and you have such a good personality and you explain things so well. And it's like, so that's I love it when I can find people where I can just point people to you.
Well, thank you so much. Yes. And I have a background in education. And so, that's why I'm more on the educational ends of it. And it's been so fun. I've met people all over the world. I'm on the far west of the United States of America. And then I have students like everywhere. Somebody messaged me the other night, Michelle, I really love your stuff, but I'm in Australia, so I just have to watch the replays. But it's really good, or they're in Scotland or the UK or South Africa or wherever.
I love it when people do that. Guys, everyone who's done that to me, thank you so much. Like people will say, oh, by the way, I love your podcast. And it's podcasts, like the people that listen to the podcast, there's not a lot of communication. Like with YouTube, I can see comments and I can see the live chat, but with the podcast, you really can't. But people sometimes will message me and just be like, by the way, I really like it. And those kind of things are so nice. Yes. It's like, it really helps me keep going.
It does. It really it touches me. Right now I'm in the middle of this children's book class, which is great. And it's funny. It's all month long. And I have people buy the class the day after it's done. I mean, and then they buy it 6 months and a year later. So by no means, if you want to make those kind of children books I was showing, hop in anytime. But anyway, one of the ladies this week was saying how she came to the very first children's book session, because it's once a week, and there's so many ideas. And one of the guys like, I can't even sleep at night, Michelle, you just dumped all these ideas on me. And then the next week she said, oh, I got it uploaded to KDP. And then just a couple of days ago in class, she said, I've already sold 3 of them. And it just to know that to make that kind of impact, it just touches me that she was able to do that. She's,
Yeah, it's so exciting. And once you have that first success, then you just keep going and it just keeps building on itself. So
I mean, all of us had favorite books when we were kids, right? You might make your book be some kid's favorite book, and the legacy that would have. My son, he's 32 now, but when he was little, he liked Green Eggs and Ham, and he'd want me to read that book to him over and over. And I was so sick of it. Oh my gosh, I was sick of that book. One day, it just slipped from off the couch and landed on the floor. It just kind of slipped there, and I took the heel of my foot and I just kicked it under the couch, so I couldn't find it for a while.
Oh my gosh, you got to write a book like that, like Confessions of a Mom.
Exactly. That was one of his favorites. But you might have come up with something that's.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If you come up with a kid's book, the kids. Yeah. I used to read, my mom told me a story about how I read one book so many times, or asked her to read it so many times, that I memorized all the words. Like it was right before I could read. Like I couldn't actually read, but I could read that book because it had been read to me so many times. And one of my friends was over that was older than me, but she like learning how to read, but not that good at reading yet. So I was reading the book quickly and like perfectly because I had every single word memorized. And the other kid was feeling like all insecure, like, how come I can't read this? But yeah, kids are so funny.
Smart.
Yeah, I was just so brilliant. No, but yeah, if you make a kid's book that a kid loves and memorizes like that, like, oh my gosh,
right?
amazing.
I know. When I made that one, the Little Mermaid one, I made this Little Mermaid one, and it's just counting 1 to 10, so it's not a big thing. But I was telling my little great niece, who's, I think she's 4 or 5 or something like that. I was telling little Emily, and she couldn't read all the words, and she said, I know that word is mermaids. I said, okay, so do you know what this word is down here, right there? She said, no, I can't, I don't know. And I said, it says Michelle Brubaker. And she said, that's you.
That's so cute.
But you made that, Aunt Michelle? Yeah, I did.
Isn't that's so inspiring for kids? It's so great.
It was. It just brought joy to me. So you could be that joy to somebody else somewhere here. Amazon's all over the world, and your books would sell all over the world. And yeah, the impact you can make even with one simple book.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for today. It's just brightened everyone's day and inspired everybody to get working.
Yes,
so,
get working. And use your links for Helen. Use her affiliate links, or if you have to use one of mine, just message me so I can give her, some cream in her coffee or something.
Yeah, Bridget, it's just her website, which is michellebrubaker.com. It should be linked underneath, but I'll go add some more links now.
Yeah, use Helen's links on those, so she'll get credit. But thank you all. Go make some books, make some money, and go make the world a better place with it.
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.